Saturday morning, and we have Luis Alvarez kicking off the Experts program with us here on Power Talk Radio. Luis, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Another beautiful Saturday here in Monterey County. Looking forward to it.
Going to get out on the boat this weekend?
Probably not. I have some errands to take care of for the holidays. We're setting up our Christmas tree and also have a couple of get-togethers with our friends taking advantage of outdoor dining while we still have it, being safe and social distancing and all that, but taking advantage of the weather while we still have it.
Well, hey, we've got a couple things to talk about here. First off, we had a really big Black Friday this year, not in the stores, but online. 2020 online shopping, according to CNBC, surged 22% to a record $9 billion, which is pretty incredible. And it would make sense because of the pandemic, so many people staying home and doing their shopping online.
Yeah, and they expected Cyber Monday to actually grow even more to 35% over last year for the exact same reason. I mean, we've all gotten used to doing more online shopping, just more it's easier to do that than try to get out to the store and, wear masks and all that sort of stuff. And I think especially as the state starts to clamp down again on non-essential travel and non-essential visits, that we're going to see even bigger growth for the holidays. So we want to talk a little bit about how you can prevent yourself from becoming a victim of cybercrime as you do your shopping online.
Okay, so what are some of the tips that people need to know to avoid being victimized?
First off, don't click on links that you get via email unless you know that they're coming from legitimate sources. So if you get an email from Macy's or Nordstrom's or Best Buy saying, hey, here are some deals that you can take advantage of, check the URL to make sure it actually is coming from bestbuy.com or Macy's.com and it's not some spoofed website. It's really easy to do. Just hover over the link and you'll see the URL. It's better, though, that you just go to the site directly. So if you like what you're seeing in the email advertisement, then just go to the website and go find it that way as opposed to clicking on that link.
I guess the other thing too, Luis, would be if you have a history of shopping with, say, Macy's or Best Buy, you're going to be on their mailing list, right? So you're always getting emails from them. You can generally trust those links. You just have to be careful if it's something you've never heard of before and they're offering you the deal of the century and all you have to do is click on it.
If it looks too good to be true, it really is too good to be true. So don't click on those links. And when you do shop online, make sure that you use a credit card and not a debit card. A credit card, if for some reason you get defrauded or for some reason you have any issues, you can always decline the charges and you may be required to pay up to $50 of whatever charge it was. But if you use a debit card, that money's automatically deducted from your bank account at that point in time and you just can never recover it.
Right.
So, use a credit card for sure.
And one of the other things too, for people that can't get credit cards, because there's always instances like you might have people who have gone through a bankruptcy. So they're no longer able to have credit cards and they can only have a debit card. In an instance like that, if you can use your debit card as credit, you can do that. Or maybe you use PayPal. You go to a website that you deal with and say you use your PayPal account, which is linked to your bank account. PayPal's really good about being kind of hacker proof, and that's a pretty safe way to shop. The other thing is if neither of those are available to you, you can always go to any retail store like a drugstores or Walmart or somebody like that, and you can buy these loadable debit cards by people like Green Dot. And what you can do is you can go to your bank and you can take a few $100s or some money out of your account, go to the store and have them load the money on your Green Dot card. Now, don't link this loadable debit card to your account. They want you to do that. Don't do it that way. Keep this thing freestanding. And then if you have to use a debit card online, you've got a specific debit card with a very limited amount of money on it, and you can use that for online purchases. Now, you have to keep track of what the balance is on that so that you don't get embarrassed by not being able to buy something. But the advantage of that is, God forbid that it gets hacked, the hackers are only going to get a small amount of money that's on that particular card.
Yeah, good point. A really good point.
That's one way of keeping yourself safe if you don't have access to credit.
Yeah, and the other thing too is if your debit card or credit card offers an app that can notify you every time that it's being used, subscribe to that service and enable that notification, because in that way you know exactly what transactions are being charged on that card. And if something happens, if you get a notification of a charge that you are suspicious of, you can immediately contact the company and they can potentially, even if it's a debit card, they can do something about it. It's just most of us don't really look at those transactions until we get our statement at the end of the month. And in today's world, you really need to be much safer about things and enable that kind of notification so you know what's going on with your accounts.
We always have to give a cautionary tale on these kinds of things. Whenever there's some terrible tragedy that hits society all across, there are always scammers that come along that say, let us help you help those in need, or let us help you get to the front of the line of the upcoming COVID-19 vaccines. This is the latest scam out there, and it really is a bad scam. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so, adding insult to injury, we already have to worry about cybercrime during the holidays, but now, because we have this very anxious point in time when people are really looking forward to getting the vaccine and being able to put COVID-19 behind us, a lot of us are trying to get to the front of the line, if you will, like, when can I get the vaccine? And as we know, the authorities are telling us, hey, before it goes to the general public, it has to go through first responders and healthcare providers and people at risk. So chances are, you and I aren't going to see the ability to get this vaccine until probably February sometime. But there are scammers out there that will contact you and put up websites that say, hey, we can get you to the front of the line because we have access to the vaccine, but you have to first send us $150 or $200 deposit. And once we get you into our facility to get the shot, there's going to be another $100 that you have to pay. But they'll never get you into their facility because there really isn't a vaccine. These vaccines are not going to be available, at least for the immediate future, to anybody but designated populations. So don't fall for those scams. Don't pay anybody anything to try to get to the front of the line or to get more information. If you have questions, go to the cdc.gov website and check it out there, or go to the state's, California state's website, and that'll tell you who's getting the vaccine and when.
Great advice from Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, online alvareztg.com, at AlvarezTG, that's the Twitter handle, and Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326.